Australia loves a big icon. We've got the big banana, big prawn, big guitar. There's quite a few of them. But perhaps the most remote is the Big Galah at the halfway across Australia mark in Kimba, South Australia. And how it got there is quite an Aussie story. It was built by the Venning family with no previous experience at anything big.
I did get a lot of comments from people in Kimba when I said I was going to build a Big Galah. He said, you don't need to build that, you're a Big Galah yourself. So we had used to have that was brought up a lot.
Thousands of travellers stop each year.
If I had 10 cents for every photo, I'd be pretty rich.
Its story began when the Vennings opened a gem shop.
We needed to attract people off the highway, and that's why we decided to build something.
So I wanted a figurine down there, but I didn't know what figurine.
He wanted something to pull people in. So anyway, then it got all the family sat around talking and had what we were going to do and how we're going to stop people on the highway.
At harvest time, all around there getting the grain from the trucks, and so we decided to build a galah.
They funded it themselves and spent the school holidays making it in the shed.
It sounded a bit crazy, but then he got the plans drawn up for this galah and he brought them home, and then he said, oh, we're going to build a galah, and we said, yeah, right, how are we going to do that? And he said, no, I've got the plan.
I must admit, my wife and the kids all done real well with it. You know, it did upset a few when, like, Quint with the fiberglass, he used to go off his tree, and Alan used to get doing it and he'd have to run to the toilet. And I actually got crook one day when I was mixing the colour in it.
The 4 children were aged 9 to 18.
It was pretty crazy, and it was sort of stuffing up our weekends. So with some fiberglass, yeah, used to make you a little bit high every now and then. So that Mum and Dad did get told every now and then what we thought of their galah anyway. So.
And they also had some very, very smart remarks. We've got one, number 3 boy, we call him, the Big Galah. Well, I won't tell you what he said because it's probably not nice for the public to hear. Our daughter sat inside and put on little chicken wire on every little little square that was in there to keep the mesh on. And she finally said to her dad at 6 o'clock one night, Dad, can we please get out because I need the toilet? It's like we've got the little galahs in the galah, so make hay while the sun shines.
I didn't think it'd work, but they draw it with a string and a bit of chalk on it, and you can actually draw the shape of the galah. And that's where we started, on the cement floor.
They used a wagon wheel bender from the 1800s to make the curves.
But they used to roll the steel on the outside of the wheels through this wagon wheel bender. It belongs to my wife's father. Yeah, it was down at his farm, and I said to him, can we borrow it? Well, we still got it up here. But yeah, no, without that, you know, you would have to have a bender like that. We should have really put an electric motor on. Took 18 months because we used to only go to Adelaide and buy the steel we needed to do the next thing.
The fiberglassing was the worst job.
I don't know how he got onto this bloke, but this is how much fiberglass I need. And he said, I don't use that much in 12 months. Like, And he said, how long is it going to take you? And Dad said, we got school holidays, so the kids can help as well. So we'll get in there and we'll fiberglass it. We'll use it all in the school holidays. He said, you're going to use that much? And he said, yeah, we'll get it done over school holidays. So anyway, we proceeded to learn how to fiberglass. I'd done a bit with me trade when I was panel beating, so I knew a little bit about fiberglassing, but I'd never done that much. Yeah, the bloke told us you can't stick fiberglass upside down. And we said, we'll just go a little bit under its belly and then we'll roll him over. But yeah, he was right, you can't stick it upside down.
It was time to move the 2.5-tonne cocky.
We seen the local policeman and he said, Dad said, I want to shift that Galah down and stand it up. And he said, hell, Rod, you're going to have to get a permit and ride it. You know, you have to ride to Adelaide for the oversize and you're going to have to get a permit to shift it and all that. And he said, hell, that's going to take a bit. He said, look, I'll tell you something. He said, what's that? And he said, before you get out of bed, he said, we'll have it down there, how's that? And he said, well, don't do that. He said, better off I come down and escort you, how's that? I'll use a police escort and I'll take you down. So that's how it ended up getting down. I flew from the shed up and Mum and Dad's down to the shop.
There was one more hurdle. The crane couldn't lift it high enough.
He didn't put enough oil in it and it wouldn't go to the height. And it was hanging there for about an hour while I went and got some oil and all that.
This thing was suspended 3/4 up and all we wanted to do was see it bolted to the ground so it didn't fall. But yeah, it was a little bit nerve-wracking because we thought this is going to be good, a big wind will come in or blow and then the crane will fall over and everything will crash and we'll be back building again, and there's no way we wanted to do that.
With the hydraulic oil topped up, it was eased into place.
I cried the day that it stood up there. I never thought it would happen.
It's been 3 years since they sold the shop in Galah after Dianne clocked up 30 years behind the counter.
It was good to say, yeah, that you built the Galah, but yeah, it wasn't very good going picking the mail up as kids because you go down and they say, is this your mail? And you go, yeah. It's got the Big Galah on it. I say, yeah, well, that is our mail.
Next year, the Big Galah will be 30.
Yeah, we have certainly had the last laugh.